You can read more about many of the stories in this week's show in the current issue of Mohawk Valley Living magazine, available the first of the month at hundreds of advertiser locations and online at mohawkvalleyliving.com. Tune in to the new MVL Marketplace, a local business billboard TV show featuring all of our advertisers, plus local trivia and music by local songwriters, every Sunday at 8 a.m. and 11:30 p.m. on Fox 33. The Steet Ponte Auto Group in Yorkville and Herkimer and Turnbull Insurance Service since 1866 present Mohawk Valley Living, exploring the arts, culture, and heritage of our region.
Good morning and welcome to Mohawk Valley Living. Today we're traveling all over the Mohawk Valley. We're going to enjoy this beautiful sunshiny weather, and we're going to visit a horse farm where I'm going to learn to ride a horse, kind of, and enjoy some traditional Irish fare in celebration of St. Patrick's Day.
There was music in the valley, there was music in the air, there was music all around me, there was music everywhere.
This month's article is about the Utica Waylock, which was located just over my shoulder here across from where the Observer Dispatch is today. The Waylock stood from the late 1820s through the 1920s, just about a century or so, although it was last used in 1882 for its original purpose. In order to develop accurate tolls for the canal, there needed to be a way to weigh the freight that the canal boats were carrying. And in order to have a reliable system, a number of waylocks were constructed along the canal route. The one in Utica was one of 5 on the Erie Canal itself, and one of 7 overall in the overall canal system. And that functioned from 1829 until 1882. At the end of 1882, the Erie Canal, it had been so profitable, they paid back their original construction fees, their maintenance and upgrade fees, so they decided to end tolls on the canal, also to be competitive with the railroads. That's another reason why the tolls were ended. And when they did that, the Waylock was no longer necessary. The stones from the Waylock were actually taken out and are now a part of the Oriskany Battlefield Monument. But the Waylock building itself stood for about another 40 years, long after the canal itself was filled in and Oriskany Street was created. And it housed machinery, it housed the local canal administrators' offices, but really its original purpose disappeared at the end of 1882. So when you drive by the Observer Dispatch on Oriskany Street, right between Burnett and John Streets, you are driving literally in the Waylock, the footprint of the Waylock. And it's a great opportunity for people to think about the Erie Canal and its history in downtown Utica and what it did to build this city and to build this region. So you are literally driving over the past.
There was music in the valley, there was music in the air.
Urbanics on State Street is ready to help you tackle your next painting project. Whether it's residential or commercial, they have everything you need. And they're a paint store, not just a paint department, so they know their stuff.
Urbanics was started in the late 40s by the Urbanics, and it was in 3 generations of family business, and then last year I bought it. The family has done a great job over the years of really establishing a great name, and it's one with the community. I mean, their customers have been their friends and family basically for a long, long time. They did a lot of work to make it that way, and it's a great organization or business, and I was proud to have the opportunity for them to really allow me to try to carry it on, and I hope to do so. I started in the paint industry when I was 14 and never left. So here I am, and I love it. Love what I do. I love the people. There's something about paint that works great. We're a paint store. We're not a paint department. We know what we're doing, and we try to pass everything along we know as paint people to our customers.
Do you have a painting project coming up this spring? Come downtown to Urbanics. They've got everything you need.
There was music in the valley. There was music in the air.
When planning your family's future, turn to the principles of the past. Turn to Turnbull. Turnbull Insurance Service is an independent agency representing the most dependable companies for all your insurance needs, as well as complete financial planning and wealth management. Call today for a free assessment. The Steet Ponte Auto Group is proud to bring Mohawk Valley Living to you each week, serving the Utica area and the Valley with outstanding customer service. In Yorkville at Steet Ponte Ford Lincoln Mazda, Steet Ponte Volkswagen, and Steet Toyota Scion. And in Herkimer at Steet Ponte Chevrolet. Stop in and see why it's so easy to do business with Steet Ponte. Shop Paca Gardens in March and get free alpaca socks. Treat your feet to warm, fuzzy, comfortable alpaca socks in lightweight running, argyle, or dress socks. Free with any sweater, jacket, or vest purchased in the month of March at Paca Gardens in Little Falls.
For over 70 years, locally owned Whiteman Lumber has been the place to find quality, locally sourced hardwood. Buy direct from the manufacturer through our retail outlet in Portlandville, New York. Learn more at whitemanlumber.com.
If you crave the unique, shop the 50-plus vendors at the Newport Marketplace, your shopping destination for antiques, vintage, and repurposed handcrafted items. New items arriving every day at the Newport Marketplace, Main Street in Newport. Spring color is peeking through at the Village Crossing. It's a great time for sales on winter clearance items, making way for new spring fashions arriving daily at the Village Crossing in Clinton. Shop the 3,000 square feet spilling over with antiques at the Potting Shed, specializing in American coins, costume jewelry, and fine jewelry, as well as early lighting, stoneware, china, and furniture. The Potting Shed, over 40 years in the same location at 52 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. You keep saying you're going to do something about your back and joint pain. Call Dr. Michael Tucherone, one of the area's only K-laser therapy chiropractors, the most advanced non-invasive treatment of acute and chronic pain. Call 853-6225 and embark on your wellness journey today. Don't miss out on this great offer from Celebrity Cruises. Call the Cruise Wizards in Whitesboro to learn about 2 free perks and savings for everyone in your stateroom. With these great incentives, don't wait to book your next cruise today. Call 768-1700. The Cruise Wizards. Unforgettable cruises like magic.
I guess you would call me the creative director of this. I kind of do all the major designing or push people in the right direction on making the mosaic art. I was from Washington State, and then I lived in Oregon for a few years, and then came back to Washington State and met my husband there. And then my oldest son was actually a figure skater, and his coach moved over and said, "Would you be willing to move to New York?" And we said, "That sounds like an adventure, let's do it." With my son skating, I started working on set design, and my daughter dancing. I started making a lot of theater sets, and the dance company actually sent me to a very intensive internship for set design in Catskills with Cobalt Studios. And so I started learning how to do that and started making great big theater designs. And then I got into wall finishes and doing mural work, and that's kind of what I ended up doing. When we moved into this building, they asked me to do the mural work upstairs. Mike is just really good at encouraging you to do things. He also sees things he wants done and is really good at finding people to do them. There was a meeting about the neighborhood, and they said one of the problems was litter, and so they were looking for something creative to do with trash receptacles, and I always tend to say, why don't we do this? And so we ended up making 6 mosaic trash cans, and from there, people started saying, we want them too. And Mike was looking for a social enterprise where he could employ people, and from there, this has happened. It wasn't anything expected. It wasn't anything that I like, this is going to be my job someday, you know. I love watching the people that work here develop and find things about themselves they didn't know they could do. Yeah, the artisans' lives have been transformed through the mosaic work. So many people say, I'm not creative, and I go, yes, you are. You just don't know. You forgot that little child that could, you know, play in the mud or have the imagination, and you just assumed that being creative means you're going to be, you know, Michelangelo, and it doesn't mean that. It, you know, it comes out of everybody. I believe everybody's creative. I don't think anybody isn't. I think people have forgotten how, and I think that the creativity can come out in different forms. You can be a creative math professor as well as being someone who draws a picture. So I was in kind of a bad place. I had been in had gone through a really tough time. It was very confusing to me and my identity as who I thought I was as a person. It was questioned through this whole situation. And the mosaics, there's the act of just putting them together that is very soothing, kind of like doing a puzzle with no pattern. And then, because I was broken, it was a whole thing of taking that brokenness and saying it can change, that even though you're in this place right now that's really dark and you don't know what's going to happen, that can change for you. It can become something else. And so the mosaics are a part of my personal journey too, of just broken pieces being put back together into something different and something that is not what you expected. I am very proud of the work that I am doing here. For Oneida Square Public Art and Design, I hope the future brings more work, that people see what we can do, that there's so many options to what we have. The best thing about this environment is that people are where they are now, and it's not their past that defines them, it's their future.
We travel to the countryside of Secoit to the Root Farm. Located on over 100 acres, this nonprofit organization, with the help of volunteers like Secoit Valley High School senior Andrew Jones, offers therapeutic horseback riding, studio art, and horticulture programs. Their vision is to bring independence and self-worth to all participants.
The Root Farm was started back in 1999 by Alice Root. Alice was volunteering for Upstate Cerebral Palsy and saw the connection between the animals and the individuals that she was working with. She decided to start the nonprofit organization, which she did in 1999, which ran for a number of years out of the Vernon area. About 5 years ago, Alice approached Upstate Cerebral Palsy again, and as she was preparing to retire, in regards to what interest there was in joining forces to see the organization continue in her retirement. Alice originally was using mules and donkeys to work with children with significant behavioral difficulties. There's something magical and very powerful about the connection between the horse and the person that has therapeutic value in so many different ways. In September of 2015, the Root Farm became an affiliate of Upstate Caring Partners. A new building was constructed that opened in October of 2015. In 2016, we had about 450 people that participated in our equine programs. We offered around 2,200 sessions over the course of 2016. Our youngest rider so far has been 2, and our oldest has been over 80. The benefits have really varied based on the type of person that's been riding with us. We've had individuals who have said their first words on horseback. We have folks with multiple sclerosis who believe that they're continuing to be able to walk because of the therapeutic benefit of this service. So really the benefits are based on the type of disability or issue that we're working on in the therapy program. The movement of the horse's pelvis actually mirrors that of the human pelvis. So it's constant input into the body as the horse is moving around the arena. Since the move in 2015, we have grown our programs beyond the equine services. We're now offering agricultural services and are expanding into arts and recreational programming. Our agricultural programs include 80 chickens, and we're selling brown eggs throughout the community. We have gardens that we're doing traditional gardening in, and we have 2 hydroponic greenhouses. We also do honey production and maple syrup production on the property. So there's really therapeutic benefit in everything that we're doing, from the equine programs to the agricultural programs. But really the underlying theme of what we're trying to do at the Root Farm is to create employment opportunities for individuals who typically face barriers to employment. I've been involved with upstate cerebral palsy programs for about 17 years now as an employee, and I've never been more passionate about a program. This program, from working with the horses to the agriculture programs, are really a more powerful therapeutic approach than anything I've ever seen. To see a little girl with Down syndrome come in and the connection that she has with the horses is magical. To see an elder with mild to moderate dementia, to see the life come back into their eyes when they're petting one of the rabbits or they're getting the opportunity to groom one of the horses. It's really therapy beyond any other type of therapy that I've had the opportunity to participate in.
There was music all around me. There was music everywhere. Upstate's chilly in the winter, cold and covered up in snow. But when the good old summertime.
You work hard here in the Mohawk Valley. You make a difference. You leave your mark. You deserve a financial advisor who works hard for you to make a difference for your future.
I've spent most of my adult life helping people with their financial decisions, investing for retirement, saving for college, thinking about your legacy.
We have the education, the experience, the tools. Van Meter and Van Meter for your financial future.
Celebrate the first sign of spring during Sugaring Off Sundays. See sugaring demonstrations, have a taste of Jack Wax, enjoy children's activities, and a full pancake breakfast served from 8:30 to 1 every Sunday in March during Sugaring Off Sundays at the Farmers Museum in Cooperstown. The Robert H. Wood Great Artist Series presents Turtle Island Quartet on Friday, March 31st at 7 p.m. The performance is in the Sarkis Bush Theater at Herkimer College and is open to the public and free of charge. Seating is limited and available on a first-come, first-served basis for Turtle Island Quartet on Friday, March 31st.
Your news, talk, and sports authority. Talk Radio, AM 1450, WKAL, Rome, Utica.
Hamilton College Performing Arts presents world-class music, theater, and dance, like Brainstorm, Sunday, March 9th at 3 p.m. with free admission to the Hamilton College Orchestra's New World Symphony. And on April 1st at 7:30 p.m., the acting company presents X, or Betty Shabazz versus the Nation, and Julius Caesar on April 2nd at 2 p.m. Tickets available online or at the box office. Traveled to New Hartford for lunch at the Killer Brews Saloon. This has been a popular gathering place since the 1970s, but owner Mike Volz has taken its sports bar image and kicked it up a notch by offering a large selection of craft beers and a more extensive menu with an emphasis on Irish cuisine.
Killer Brew actually started probably about 35 plus years ago, and I started working here about 21 years ago. I started off working in the kitchen, and I worked my way up to management. And when I was getting done with college back in around 2005, I took over. So I've been on for like the last 11 years.
Okay, what attracted you to staying on here?
Oh, well, I was going to school for business management and accounting. I had a nice close relationship with the previous owner, and he was looking to get out about the same time I was getting done with college, and it just seemed like a perfect fit. So.
And now, what do you think has kept it around so long? What brings people here?
It's definitely the customers. You know, it's we have a great clientele base here. It's a local community. You know, we don't do a lot of tourists and stuff like that. So the people that have come here, that come here presently, have been coming here for years, probably since they were teenagers or early 20s, and they carry it right on. And now some of their kids are coming through here now. So it's very family oriented, stuff like that.
Now, the food obviously must be a draw. Tell us, have you changed anything, or since you've owned, or is it the same?
Well, certainly. When I first took over, there wasn't a lot of emphasis on the food. It was more of your traditional bar, come in and get a couple of drinks, hang out with your friends, play pool, darts. And when I took over, it was shortly after when the smoking law went into effect. And I just saw a trend that I think to keep the customer base going and stuff, I really need to focus on the food. And over the last 11 years, we've really evolved the menu, and every year we've expanded a little bit further into what it is now. Every day is something different. You know, it's you know, I like to say that you know, it's the same thing day in, day out, you know, but it's not. It's every day presents different challenges, different, you know, things that kind of push me to keep coming back and trying new things and hopefully succeed.
The Steet Ponte Auto Group is proud to bring Mohawk Valley Living to you each week, serving the Utica area and the Valley with outstanding customer service. In Yorkville at Steet Ponte Ford Lincoln Mazda, Steet Ponte Volkswagen, and Steet Toyota Scion. And in Herkimer at Steet Ponte Chevrolet. Stop in and see why it's so easy to do business with Steet Ponte. You go the extra mile for your small business and should expect the same from your insurance company. For over 140 years, Turnbull Insurance Service has been committed to local small business. For your commercial coverage, turn to the company ready to go that extra mile. Turn to Turnbull.
I use Whiteman's wood for home remodeling. A lot of the finished products or the finished moldings. The customer service is very good here. You know, very friendly. There's always somebody here to take care of you, answer your questions.
Learn more at whitemanlumber.com.
The people you know, the rock you love, and more songs per hour. 92.7 FM, The Drive, Central New York's locally owned independent rock station.
Expecting company? Just call Deansboro Superette. They prepare delicious Middle Eastern platters for any number of guests. Call 841-4377.
Welcome to the Little Falls Antique Center in the shops at 25 West. Come on in and browse thousands of unique items that change on a daily basis. Shop for yourself or for someone else. We're open every day from 10 to 5. We look forward to your visit here at historic Canal Place in Little Falls.
Tom's Natural Foods is your connection to local farms for natural and organic fruits and vegetables, meats, eggs, cheeses, and other milk products. At Tom's Natural Foods in Clinton, naturally. Meelan's Meat Market has your Easter specialties like store-made hams and kielbasa, leg of lamb and roasts, featuring low-salt, low-fat smoked ham and kielbasa. Try their famous crown roast of pork or prime rib. Meelan's Meat Market, your one-stop shop at the Four Corners in Clark Mills. The last few years, the State Office of Mental Health has offered free tours of the Old Main Psychiatric Center on Court Street in Utica. This historic Greek Revival building played a formative role in America's early mental health system.
What we call Old Main today is the original portion of what was initially called the New York State Lunatic Asylum. And it was completed in 1843 and opened as a progressive mental health facility in Utica. And it was really, despite what we might think about mental health treatment back in the 1840s being somewhat, I don't know, barbaric or really cruel, This was one of the most progressive facilities in the United States, and to have it right here in the Mohawk Valley was quite a feather in the city's cap. As you might understand, in 1843 we didn't have the internal combustion engine, so we didn't have trucks, and everything that was brought here was brought by horse and buggy, primarily from the Erie Canal. Take, for example, the columns that we have out in front of this building. These are the largest columns, I believe, east of or in North America. They're 8 feet in diameter, and every one of them obviously handmade, made up of hundreds of pieces of hand-cut stone. So really, it was a real testament to the workers who put this facility together, that it's still standing 170 years later. Architecturally, this is one of the best examples of Greek Revival architecture in all of the United States. And the columns that I talked about earlier, they're incredibly impressive. The fact that we have this here in Utica is a great physical tie to this city's boom time back in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Why would a facility like this be located here? It's because this was a major population center, it was a major center for industry, it was a crossroads for commerce and for people, so it made good sense to have this major facility here in upstate New York, and Utica was the place.
That right across from Franklin Square in downtown Utica, you can make your own masterpiece. Art and Vine is a paint and sip studio that's been downtown for almost 2 years. Don't know how to paint? Don't worry. Owner Connie Pratt will walk you and your friends through step by step.
Well, they don't have to know anything because most people that come in here are very new to painting. They're very curious. They want to see what the fuss is all about because they've heard their friends have been here to try it. And normally I do a lot of bachelorette parties, a lot of birthday parties. Sometimes it's just a girls' night out. So people will come in and they sign up, make sure, they usually sign up online, and they get a drink, they find a place to sit, they grab a few snacks, and they wait for everybody to arrive, and then we start a painting, and I walk them through the painting step by step, showing them where to draw a line, which brush to use, how to mix a color. I've had some people that have had some very ill family members that their friends brought them in, and they would say to me, this is the first time in such a long time that I've been able to think of something else, not worry, not be stressed out. So it's really very rewarding in that sense.
Ain't got no money, but I got plenty to show you. Honey, honey, meet me on the river Raposo got a head like a beam. He steers a T-bird like you never seen. Picks up the young